We are live. Hello, visionaries, and welcome. We are 5 minutes late, so we do apologize for that, but we are ready to have an exciting Tuesday transformation. So we are hoping that you are all excited as well. So the idea of the Tuesday transformation is that we really feel like we're in a time in history where we need to take the time to learn about our charts, because this is really, it was designed for us to self-actualize, to learn about the changing of the wheel, to learn about, human design, and learn how to navigate these times. So if you guys are here live, say hi. Hey, Nicholas, how are you? So what I'm going to do really quickly is I just want you, if you could just see us and hear us, okay, let me know. I'm going to do some sharing. We need to share it in the group, and then we need to share it in the event. So this is always takes just like 1 second. So just be patient with us if you're here live. So while you guys are waiting and you're here live, can you please type in the chat if you're a projector and what type you are, or if you're a generator, a manifesting generator, what type you are and what's your inner authority. Davidian, are you there? And can you share, Davidian, or is that impossible for you to do right now?
Can I share? Share what?
The live. I see it. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna try and share.
Oh no, I can't share. I don't think.
Okay, I can share it. So hold on a second. Just let me share in the group. So I'm gonna share. Yay! 6-2 emotional projector in the house. Awesome. Okay, hold on one more second, you guys. I'm gonna share to the event. I'm going to share to the event. So hold on one more second, you guys. I appreciate you being patient with us.
Excuse me.
So let's see if it's going to let me share to an event. It's not going to let me share into the event. Okay. So that's okay.
You could just copy the URL.
Paste. Yeah,
copy the link and then post that into the event comment.
Okay. Copy the link. All right. Thank you guys for your patience. Whoever's here live, just type in the chat which type you are. We would appreciate it. So if you guys don't know, I am a splenic projector. Davidian is an emotional generator. So just type in the chat which one you are, and that way we can know everybody that's here live and have some fun with that. So
even if you're not live and you're just a bot, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, we would. Even if you're a bot, we like bots.
A new AI coming online.
If you're you're not. Oh my God, I did it. Woohoo! Yay! Awesome. Okay. We did it, everybody. All right, so welcome. Hey, Jerry. We've got 2 emotional projectors in the house. Oh my God, this is so exciting. Okay, so we do not allow any spam. So do not spam in our chats. So if you guys would so whoever else is here live, not a bot. Good to know. Oh my God, we've got 3 emo projectors. Oh my God, how fun is that, right? How fun is that? Okay, so, and an emo MG, Zagataria. Oh my God. Hey, awesome. Thank goodness we got an MG in the house, right? All of us projectors were getting a little worried that we were going to get tired, right? How do you know which one you are? Okay, so if you don't know, we do have a link in the description for your free chart. And then your free chart will tell you which type you are. So you can check the link for your free chart, Shelly. And it should be in the description. So if you let's see, I might be able to put the description in the nope, did the wrong thing. Self-projected projector here. Hello, Natalia. Have fun. Oh my God, we got a lot of projectors in the house. Okay. So let me start by saying that the reason why we are here is because we truly believe, and Davidian and I are super committed to sharing this intel as we move closer to 2027. If you haven't heard the news, the wheel is shifting 2027. And the idea is that we're moving into an entirely new way of operating, and things are going to change. And if you haven't noticed, it's been radically changing. We're in a time of great change. And so when you look out there, there is a lot of, oh my God, you got to be kidding me.
Relentless
Spammer.
I think block is
Okay.
the next theory.
Okay. Thank you. So basically, because of that, we really feel that this is one of the greatest tools to move through the discomfort of these times. And if you guys notice, there's a lot of intensity, right? There's a lot happening. There's a lot of intensity. People are very confused. People don't know which direction to go. People have lost their jobs. People have been in, it's been, and it's still happening. There's a lot of confusion about what to trust, what's real, what's not real. Does anyone else notice that? So what we've discovered is that when you can tap into the truth of who you are, your own inner authority, and you can trust yourself, then you can navigate these crazy, crazy times. No clue who you are, bruh. They've pointed to you somehow, Nicholas. But somebody is spamming, so we're gonna block them. And just it's a really important to know that we will never spam you guys. We will never do that. And so
I will.
Yeah, Davidian's spammer. He's a real spammer. And so somebody's out there spamming. So please do not let anyone inbox you right now. We are not promoting anyone else. So do not accept that. We cannot possibly know what they're offering. And so we will not let anybody spam right now if people are reaching out to you. Had to get that troll on. Hi, I just got the Bluetooth to connect. Hi, Pam. Awesome. All right. So what we're asking, if you just jumped on, is to type in your type and your inner authority into the chat. And so what we're talking about here is why we feel it's so important to come to you on Tuesdays, and we want to share with you a little bit about what we have to the community, and then I'm going to turn it over to Davidian. So basically what we have coming up in the community is very exciting. Between now and we're doing between now and Black Friday, which is the after Thanksgiving. So this is really for our Halloween Thanksgiving season. So we want everybody to bring your pumpkin pie latte like I have right here. No, it's really not, but no, actually this looks like pumpkin pie latte. It's not. It's actually my probiotic drinks. Anyways, my point is, what we're going to do is everybody who comments, for every comment that you have on this video, regardless of whether you're in the group or on YouTube, your name's going to go in a drawing. So
well, we kind of need them in the group so we can find them again. If they're on YouTube, we're going to need them in the group, or we're just going to...
They're harder to find.
Yeah,
that's true. So all you have to do is comment or like the video,
or they can opt in. They
share.
can opt in, which is get their chart. And even if they already have their chart, there's a way to find. After you opt in, you get right to our Facebook group just with a click. Unless I can't see it, unless
you're right.
Put it in the comments. I can only see you.
Yeah, it's really in the comment. It's in the description.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's in the description, and then once you start sharing, then I'll put it in the comments. So basically what we have is a giveaway every week. So next week, if you come on Tuesday, you have to be here live. We're going to give away some products. every week. And so really basically all you have to do is participate, and then we have to know how to find you. So you have to make sure you're either in our Facebook group or our email. We have your email so we can find you again, right? And then we're going to do a drawing every week. This is a way for us to have fun, to connect with you guys, and let you know how much we appreciate your participation. And all it takes is a comment. So for every comment, your name's going into the drawing. And then for every share, also we're doing a little promotion to get people in our Facebook group. So if you have a friend and you add them to our group, we're going to add for every person that you add into our group, we're going to add 2 tickets into the drawing. Okay. So your names are going into drawings, and every week, as a projector, sounds like a lot of work. Well, you've just got another entry into the drawing just by saying that. So that wasn't too hard, was it? Woohoo! You got another entry. So then, okay, with all that said, we're also giving away on all of our education products that we have on our website. Not the one-on-one, but the education products. We're giving a 15% off discount, which is Rising Vibration is the code. The code is in the description.
I think it's Rising Vibration 15.
Oh, shoot. I totally did that wrong. Thank you for telling me. Rising Vibration 15. I totally did that wrong. LOL, Nicholas.
Yeah, Rising Vibration gives them everything for free, like 100% off.
Oh, shut up. Rising Vibration 15. It's like our store has been cleared out. Okay, so, and then when you buy something on our site, then we're going to do these Tuesday transformations with your chart. And so you're getting actually like a reading, but also like if you're here live, we'll answer questions and stuff that come in through the chat. So today what we're going to do is Elaine, and it's really Alan's chart. And Davidian, I'm going to hand it off to him, and he's going to give you guys some insights. And obviously, if you have things in your chart that are similar to this, you'll understand, and we'll answer questions as we go and all that fun stuff. So this is what we have. You get an opportunity to have your chart read by Davidian on our Tuesday transformations. Plus, we're doing discounts and we're doing free giveaways every week. So does that sound like a fun way to celebrate October and November with us? And then you can obviously just join us every Tuesday for some readings and some fun pumpkin spice drinks. I was trying to get the right word because we did Friday live wine and live, and now we need a Tuesday transformation drink. So bring your drinks. And this is mine. It's probiotic, but I'm going to call it like a pumpkin spice for the holidays. And so that's what we got going on. So Davidian, it's all you.
It's not pumpkin spice.
Right.
I just want to say a couple of things real quickly as a preamble. Some thoughts. Our mind is like a doctor that is constantly prescribing medicines to fix what ails us. But it's all just side effects with no relief, because it never treats the underlying root cause, which is us living as a not self being, living out of our open and undefined centers. And so to really change our experience with human design in particular, because it's not like self-help, it's really more of an awakening program. It's not like learning astrology. It's not like learning a new modality that's fixed, where there's like a fixed amount of content and a way of interpreting. There's like all these different moving parts. But the most important thing, I would say, you really need 5 things to really benefit from this pursuit. One is the capacity to self-inquire, the ability to look inward at yourself. Also have an earnest desire that you want to evolve. Having the courage the ability even to take an honest look at ourselves, the curiosity, and I would say possibly most of all, the self-compassion to recognize that we each grew up in uniquely conditioning environments, which forced us to develop our not self-defense mechanisms so that we could survive those environments. And really comes back to the courage of being able to drop the armor that we've created, to lay down that armor so that we could truly evolve, because self-mastery requires that we do that. We have to see what's underneath the armor. And it's easier said than done. This is not a place that you arrive at like, I did it, I beat it, I won, I'm there, I'm awakened. It's awakening perpetually, more and more stuff to process, more and more stuff to look at and be challenged by, be triggered each step. And so there's no like human design experts that are not dealing with some level of shit to process. And the mind is regularly involving itself. It's not like it gets to a point where it stops chattering. It's just you get to a point where you're seeing beyond it. I've mentioned before that I learned from Muji, something Muji said that really stuck with me was that the mind is like, if you're driving a car in the rain and you're looking through the windshield wipers that are going back and forth, you're able to keep your eyes on the road. You're not focused on the windshield wipers going back and forth, because if you were, you wouldn't be able to drive. You'd probably run into a tree or something. And the mind is like that. It's like those windshield wipers, that windshield wiper mind is still going to keep, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. And it's about you. Yeah, I see you, but I'm seeing beyond that. I'm seeing where I need to be, where I need to go. And so that becomes easier and easier, as you would imagine when you first learned to drive a car in a storm. It was very distracting, those windshield wipers. And now that's not so big a deal, or as big a deal.
Right.
Maybe it depends on the storm you're going through. But I also want to say real quickly that what I do, like it says in this picture, is something called shadow poking. I mean, that's just my own flavor of human design. When I do sessions with people, my eye naturally goes to, where is this person getting in their own way? There's a lot of things to do in a chart. I can see where your superpowers are. I can see, the best that you have to offer. That's really, I would say Raquel is really amazing at that. I'm more the other side of that. I'm more interested, and I tend to go to, what's the weak link in your chain? Where are you going to screw yourself up? Where are you likely to get in your own way and trip yourself up? And so when I'm looking at Alan's chart, first of all, I know he's not here today and he's going to listen to the recording.
Right. So I'm going to make it bigger so everyone can see his chart. So for those of you guys who are learning human design, what you're looking at is, you guys can, everybody who's here live, first of all, can you see his chart? Hey, Austin James, a 4/6 mental projector. Awesome. Really good to meet you. And if you just jumped on, please type in the chat your inner authority and your what your type is. Pam, you can see it, and Sheila, you can see it. Okay, good. So what's fun about looking at this is seeing, like, what do you see in the chart? We know by looking at his chart that, right, he's a what is he? He's an MG. And he's a sacral MG. We know that. So look at his chart and see what you see, and then it'll make it really fun as you're going through it. Davidian always sees things that I never see, so it's really fun to see his wisdom and he's got the 2343, so he's always got this incredible insight that most other people don't have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the chart big so that you guys can see it. Okay, so hold on a second with me. Well, I guess that's as big as it's going to get, but that looks pretty big, right? You guys can, Sheila, Nicholas, you guys, Pam, you guys can see all that? All right, sorry, Davidian.
Still a good on time?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say real quickly that because I'm not, I don't really know Alan. Okay. So the reason I bring that up is the fact that I don't know what his, I'm just going to say it in the personal. I don't know what your level of personal evolution is. So a lot of the things that I'm going to mention, it's almost like I feel like I'm doing like some sort of 36-point inspection, like poking certain areas that could resonate as something that trips you up, but it could very well be stuff that tripped you up in the past that you've overcome and something you dealt with and you resolved, and not something that really burdens you these days. So I apologize if this doesn't resonate in the now, but maybe it does. Maybe something I said or will say will resonate with you and stand out. I mean, we do have both conscious and unconscious elements of our chart. The unconscious elements are going to be things that we do not resonate with or feel comfortable with or would see as an aspect of our being. These are things that other people will recognize in us first. And when enough people from different circles perhaps share the same insight about us, then maybe there's something to it. And we can start to see it. At least we can see it in ourselves after the fact often, because it's unconscious. We may not see it in the moment or see a behavior coming, but then we have the potential with greater awareness of our charts and how we're designed to operate, and where we get held up, we can start mitigating the amount of time that we spend unconscious and not self. So that said, I would say also one last thing. I don't like always show my work, meaning I'm not going to call out, oh, I said this because of this. Because what I do is there are some intuitive aspects of my sinking into someone's chart. And there's a lot of keynotes. All these different things play against each other. It's not like we're a list of parts. All these parts make us complex, and from that complexity comes the emergence of something new, which is greater than the sum of its parts. But sometimes certain keynotes from individual gates or channels or profiles and such, a theme starts to develop to where there's a story that is supported by other things. But we're also a series of contradictions. We have a lot of things that are paradoxes, and some things operate louder than others. And I'm not here to tell Alan, I'm not here to tell you what's showing up loudly or what might be simply a voice in your head that you would never entertain. Like some piece of advice that gets served up that you would never actually do. And other things you might be more knee-jerk and react rather than sort of just, oh, that's just a shitty mind, it's just my jerk mind or whatever, I'm not going to listen to it kind of thing. So first of all, one of the things I've noticed with you, Alan, is that you definitely process the world consistently and have a mind that it's just so interesting how the left side of your chart is so lit up. It just struck me. But you have this mind that can make very fine distinctions and notices things that probably most people don't, or maybe not even care about. it just doesn't show up on their radar, but it does with you. And you're very intuitive, very sensitive to the point of being, I would say, a highly sensitive person, detecting even minute changes. And as such, you're likely to be a stickler for details, like I's dotted, T's crossed, or you're not going to be very comfortable, perhaps. But some things get in the way, ways in which you may have lived your life, perhaps things you've done to turn down that analytical part of your mind so that you can enjoy the present moment more. And that could be possibly having to overcome or having overcome some bad habits that that relieved the analytical mind, perhaps, but at the same time were not healthy. You've probably felt largely misunderstood, even when you're open with other people, because you feel that good relationships are built upon good communication, but you may have the feeling of like, why bother sometimes? Because they're just going to misunderstand me anyway. So you may prefer your own company. Even though you're a 3-5, you're a 10-2 in behavior. So you behave like a profile 2, which is a hermit. And even though you're a 3-5 profile, not to say that you wouldn't do well with a good partner who understands you, and maybe you're already there. I don't know if you're mated up or if you're flying solo, but you're definitely holding leadership cards in your hand. The only caveat there may be the possibility of you getting a big head or a feeling of superiority over those who voted you as leader. Because you see things often that they can't, like the writing on the wall, and there could be a tendency to get a big head because of the fact that you can see what others can't. You're someone who I would say has had many powerful transformations and may be drawn to communities where you learn higher truths together, but you may end up moving on since you're not tribal and want others to come with you who you feel some affinity for, but they may not want to leave, or they misunderstand your intentions or your exuberance. And so you leave alone, again, perhaps misunderstood and preferring your own company at that point. You have this aura where people want to tell you their issues, so they open up to you, but when you open up to them, they may not reciprocate, or they may get scared off due to your openness. So you have to know that you have this aura that tells people you're a great listener, and they can tell you all of their very personal problems, but they mostly don't have the capacity to be there for your problems or truths like you have that capacity for them, or at least they believe you to have. This is a mechanical thing, and this has to do with your gate 13, but it's a mechanical thing going on that's telling people that you're a really good listener, and you can tell me all your super personal overshare details, and you're safe to do so. Meanwhile, that's what your aura is saying, but you could be like, oh my God, I can't believe they're telling me this. Like, I don't want to hear this. How do I unhear this? I mean, that's just something that your aura is broadcasting. And because of that, people could confide in you. But if you have the mistaken belief that you can confide in them and that you're on equal footing, that's where you're going to get hurt, perhaps. You have to recognize that this is not a two-way street. It's a benefit to you if you could just see it as, yeah, people tell me their secrets. And as long as you recognize that this is your superpower and not theirs, You know, you might come across someone who has that same circuitry, but mostly probably you won't. Perhaps, you know, on some level you shouldn't be open or that open with people. But I would say that freedom is a huge word for you. Humongous. So I guess if you perceive that not being able to share your truth or put all your cards on the table right away, that you're being inhibited or held back or not free. So you may decide to share your thoughts anyway and just sort of put it all out there. And if they don't like it, screw them. You got to be you, kind of thing. And you definitely do. I mean, you're a 3410, and that's Team Allen, you know, all day, every day. But others may be uncomfortable with your openness so soon and not be able to show up like you did, being 100% yourself and just being totally real in the moment due to their own stories or trauma built armor, which requires you to perhaps dial it back a bit, not give everything to everyone in a throw the spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks or who sticks around after you give them 100% Allen kind of thing, despite what may feel like your genetic imperative to do so. So again, that might be easier said than done. You do have, after all, a deep-seated need to express yourself. So you may have decided also, because you're a 5 and people have projected onto you your entire life, thinking they know you when they don't, that you prefer to let them know 100% upfront who you are, perhaps even prematurely, just so you can avoid that later disappointment, a la the projection field, and spend a bunch of time investing in a relationship that ends with them never having gotten you in the first place. It's probably not a feeling you're too willing to put up with anymore. So you may have become impatient. And then that's why you overshare, or you share what you would consider just as personal as what they share with you. But again, they don't have that same capacity to show up that way, which can be really painful when you're a better friend than others. When you can show up for someone and they can't reciprocate in that way. And that sucks. I mean, it truly does. But knowing that you have this thing going on can help with future misunderstandings. And there is a way to navigate this. I mean, this can easily be a source of a lot of frustration and even anger, being misunderstood, to the point of only wanting to rely on yourself and do your own things and perhaps stay in your own home-based sanctuary and behave as that hermit. And I totally get that. But you may have a different result when you find a sweet spot between those two extremes. But number one is waiting for that invitation to share your details and corrections, those minute little patterns that you recognize. No matter how valid or pertinent you think they are, that will make the other person understanding you go 100% smoother. You know, even though you're a manifesting generator, some of your channels need to be invited, like those strong opinions that you have. Even if you're able to back them up with facts, but patience is not a natural thing for a manifesting generator. So that's the kind of thing that has to be cultivated if it hasn't been already. I mean, you're a wealth of information that works infinitely better when people access your database on their own accord without you offering. When they access you, the stuff you know surprises you, hands down. And sometimes it can feel probably scary. I mean, sometimes you may feel like you have a totally empty head. Like you can't like you can't access your own information. Like you can't access your own intelligence, your own facts. Someone has to access you. Not always, but you might have that sensation that makes you feel like maybe you don't know enough when you actually know way more than the average Joe. And you can get into comfortable ruts, even though I see you have strong leadership ability. But holding lots of responsibility may not be your jam, or it may make you uncomfortable. I mean, the gate 50 there, that's the fear of responsibility, which is unconscious in you. But, you know, I'm looking at your gate 42. I mean, this is unconscious too. So these might not be things that you resonate with, but you're good at cleaning up other people's messes and seeing where things break down, seeing the weak link in the chain, so to speak. But that's a skill that needs to be invited, or it pushes people away, or it gets turned inward and you end up cannibalizing yourself. So healthy habits, back to that, because that's going to be super important. Healthy habits that may not resonate, again, because that's unconscious, but your body, which is your unconscious, the red in your chart, it needs them. They're an absolute imperative in order for you to maintain a healthy rhythm, or you're gonna feel off, and you're gonna regularly just feel off, like something's not right. You can't get your shit together. Nothing seems to be working. I mean, that's how important having a daily habit is. And it doesn't matter what it is. It can even be a bad habit. Hopefully it isn't, but having something that you do regularly for whatever amount of time at like the same time regularly keeps you balanced, keeps you from becoming destabilized. And again, it's red, it's unconscious. You might be like totally turned off by such rituals, totally just like, I don't like repetition. Well, you have so much in your chart that would say that repetition is good for you, but a lot of it's unconscious. Like you have the innate ability to become very skillful, like maybe like a great singer or play an instrument really well, because you have what's in you to take something from A to B. You have the ability to stick with something and perfect a pattern until it becomes second nature. And that is not everyone has that. You know, despite whatever people may want certain skills, but just not have the ability to do the day in and day out skills necessary to get to that place. Like we'd all just like want that Matrix plug-in where I can just download how to fly the helicopter and be done with it. I don't need the whole, how did I learn that? I just want the skill, or, you know, I just don't have the attention span to like stick with something. You do. But again, it's unconscious. So you may not recognize in yourself that. It may not feel comfortable, but that doesn't change the fact that that's a hidden superpower that you have. So healthy habits are important. Again, it can be something super simple that you do every day, but not skip a day. And that may have up till now or even currently been a bad habit, but quitting it without quitting your bad habit without replacing it with something healthy and just as regular is not a good solution. So let's say you smoke and that's your habit. Well, just quitting smoking is not going to work for you. You're going to have to replace that smoking with something else. And you'll have a much easier time not being destabilized. Anyway, that's all I have for now. I hope that helped.
Wow. That's amazing. So everybody who's here live, do you guys, that was really, really powerful, Davidian. I think everybody was getting some ahas on there. There was some questions coming in, but I think I sort of answered them as we were going. We did have a spammer. That's a weird thing now, these spammers coming on and trying to like private message people. So I'm sorry, everybody who's here live. So everybody who's here live, do you guys have any questions? Would you love to have Davidian read your chart? Right? Would you love that? Because I mean, I don't know, like it's so good, right? It's so good, right?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So good. So awesome job, Davidian. Your energy is truly intense. It really is. It's such a great insight. You know what I love? I love the fact is that he sees things that I don't see, and I hope that you guys had that experience as well, that he saw things that you didn't see in the chart. Was that great, Jerry? Hey, I'm glad you're still here. Hey, Nicholas. Yes, so here's what we're doing. If you want Davidian to look at your chart, like I said, what we're doing is we're doing some free giveaways each week, and we're also giving 15% off all of our education products on foxy5d.com. If you and then for any of those products, then we're pulling those charts. So we have a couple for next week too, but we're going to do this every week. So everybody has an opportunity so we can get through everybody's charts. But isn't that awesome? I mean, yeah, I love the way Davidian puts things together and the way he does the pieces. So we also have a giveaway that we're going to be doing. And so everybody who's here live that commented, you're all going in the drawing that we'll do every week. So even if you feel like, oh, I don't have money to invest right now or whatever, we are going to also be doing some free giveaways, not for readings, but let me just let's see, what do I have here? I have the free chart. If you guys need the free chart, I just put the link in the chat. Let's see. I emailed my chart before you do. Oh, you emailed it? Okay. So well, here's what yeah, so we don't keep track of everybody's charts unless, of course, like they're in one of our courses or whatever. So if you have emailed it to us in the past, we probably don't have, we don't have access to it at the, we didn't save everybody's chart. So yes, you'll have to email us again. So when you email us, I'll let you know exactly what process you need to go through. And then again, the process of going in the drawing, all you simply need to do right now, if you want to go in our drawing and you haven't, just go ahead and put an emoji in the chat. Or if you're listening to the recording, just say hi. And you will go in our drawing. We will do the drawing every week. And then also you should have a link to the Foxy 5D site.
Can you think of a time where knowing yourself was more important than it is? I mean, tomorrow might probably be more important than it is today. But I mean, it's just so, just watching everything that was predicted to crescendo in 2027, just to see the breakdown of news media, just the concept of a Walter Cronkite, like trust, what they're saying to you. It's becoming so laughable. I'm not saying that it's all trash, but it's now, I just think that where before people could just hide in the shadows and do these backroom deals, and it was a corrupt system, it was more not in your face. Now it's like, because the light is so much greater, these like villains can't even hide in the shadows anymore. So it's more done in your face, like, okay, but what are you going to do about it? I mean, now it's just in your face and it's not in the back room. Like, it's just fascinating to watch, right, like them try to preserve what they had. And it's such a changed landscape. And
yes,
it's like, to get our own footing in that, with our own different prejudices and biases and our own tribal in groups that, you know, it's a scary concept when you no longer agree with your in group or your tribe. And because it can feel lonely. It's not just not agreeing, but these people have been companions for years and years and years, and maybe you did once see eye to eye, and you're so wrapped up in these in groups that, you know, it provides you with all sorts of things beyond just getting a lot, just finding in common with them what you believe, but it's
Right.
like protection, emotional support, and then to watch all these alliances start to shift where, you know, it's not going to be just Democrat, Republican, you know, in the US, or the left and the right. Those were like divides that they will continue to try to keep us divided with left and right, but within left and right, there are divides. And I think it's going to be, this is so sideways, so I apologize for this rant.
Well,
I just
yeah,
really quickly just want to say that it's going to be really, I think the way out of this quagmire is for us to police our own, to like recognize our own weak links in our own in groups and be responsible for cleaning up our own house, because both sides need to do that. All sides need to do that. We need to do that first, though. We need to
right.
clean up in ourselves what's
Yes.
true, what isn't true, what am I sweeping under the rug because I don't want to be dealing with other people's uncomfortable feelings, or ooh, I don't want to have to look at that in myself, so I'm going to put up a smoke screen. And all these different things that we see externally that our shadow is telling us, hey dude, you got to
Right.
clean up your house first before you can clean up anything else.
Right.
And so it brings it back to human design, I think, is the
Yeah.
my favorite way to clean
Right.
it.
It is. And Jerry said 2027 and with a question mark. And yes, Jerry, like absolutely. Like this is really what we're saying is that as we move closer and closer to 2027, which we're only in 2021. So we've been going through a lot since 2020. Like it's already starting to unfold. And what they're saying is this all of the circuitry that held the epoch, which is the global, you can call it like the global auric field, right? What was holding that together is shifting. There's nothing wrong, it's just a change of the wheel. And so when that wheel changes, the things that we relied upon are going to be falling apart. And human design is saying that even though all of these things are falling apart, you don't need to be afraid. If you can follow your own inner authority, it will guide you to the right locations. You will be safe. It will guide you to what is correct for you. It will guide you into a place of feeling, you know, the well-being that you need to feel during these great times of change. And so as long as you're looking outside of yourself for anyone to lead you, you may be mistaken. And like for Davidian and I, what we're saying is no, you know, look inside yourself for the answers. Like, yes, we can guide you in your chart. Your chart says A, B, and C, and you contemplate and experiment with that. But ultimately, you learn how to trust yourself again by learning what your own inner authority is. And that's what's going to help you. And to get out of that is
Save
to
your ass. That's what's going to
not
save your ass.
right, and not use your mind as the directive field, and being aware that the mind is really the chaotic mess that we're trying to avoid. And that, you know, human design teaches you to be the passenger where you can sit back and witness and kind of look out the window and be like, oh, this is interesting, the world's falling apart. Okay, yeah, the news doesn't make sense. Oh, this is interesting, they're trying to do that, they're trying to do this. And like kind of sit back with your tea and your pumpkin spice and just like watch it all go by and be like, wow, crazy, everybody.
You
Nuts.
definitely don't want to allow yourself to be drafted into somebody's narrative warfare and become
Right.
some useful idiot for someone else's agenda. And I think that happens on both sides of the fence,
Oh,
big
of
time,
course.
for different things. You're going to
Yes.
be a useful idiot for something different if you're on the left, and a useful idiot for something different if you're on the right. But it doesn't serve you to stay in this team mindset. You can still hang with these people, but don't proxy your sense making to someone else, where that could very well be their truth that resonates with their inner
Right.
authority. And
Yes.
for you, it's complete garbage. It's like we
Right.
have to recognize this huge variable in our sense making that has been largely dictated by someone else, whether you're brought up to believe go with your gut or do what feels right, follow your bliss, do the first thing that comes to your mind, do the logical thing, well, what has your past taught you, and what are the lessons you learned, you don't want to repeat that. And there's so many different things that have colored our experience.
Yeah.
And one huge thing that's very exciting is, regardless of when you learn or meet human design, we've all made so many mistakes and false conclusions based on living as not self. Like, for instance, just a real throwaway example. Let's say in the past you were invited to speak live on stage and you absolutely bombed. It was embarrassingly painful. Well, it's possible that you weren't following your strategy and authority when that opportunity might have fallen in your lap, or maybe you pushed for it, perhaps, like because you really wanted what you thought you were going to get from it. And so you drew a conclusion that was inappropriate, that when I speak on stage, I just flub and people,
Right.
it's not for me.
Yeah.
However, if you were to try that again, following your unique protocol, then you might have a completely different experience. So what's exciting about human design is it's all up for redefinition, because everything has to be checked again
Yep.
based on your strategy and authority. That
Yep.
puts everything back on the table that didn't work before, now has the potential to absolutely, that could be the best thing that you ever did. But because it scared the shit out of you, because you bombed so bad, you never try that again. But guess what?
Brilliant.
It's your superpower and you didn't know it, but you had to follow your unique protocol to figure that out.
That's so brilliant, because it's so true. Everyone's always telling you what to fix and why it didn't work for you and why you may have failed at that. And oh, maybe you didn't speak clearly, or maybe you weren't prepared, or maybe you're not, and or the worst part is like, oh, you're not good at that,
Or
right?
too prepared, right?
Or yeah, exactly, or too prepared, whatever it is. And so I love what you said, Davidian. It's really true. It's like whatever that was, perhaps it's simply because you didn't enter into that correctly. And that's what we're here to share with you guys. And believe me, it really makes a difference in a place of living peacefully and calm, particularly during these times of great chaos. So we're very honored to have you all in our community. We're so grateful for all of you. Thank you guys all for
Yep,
being
yep.
here live. We hope you enjoyed that reading. We did Alan, and we'd like to do you next week. So just make sure you email us and go into the drawing. If you're listening to the recording, you're here live. And we'll be doing giveaways. And also, if you didn't get the code, it is Rising Vibration 15. If you guys want any of the educational products on Foxy 5D, for those of you who are here live, we're doing 15% off. And then for those products, we are doing chart readings on Tuesdays. So it's like getting a free chart reading with every education products that you get on Foxy 5D. So we're excited to give those gifts to you guys. And again, thank you all for being part of our community. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap up, Davidian?
Sleep alone.
That's a good one. That's a good tip. It does help. It does help everybody.
At least for the projectors, the numerous projectors that are watching or were watching.
We had like all emotional projectors. Is it difficult?
It's difficult because
Why,
you're used
Nicholas?
to
Let
all
us
of
know
that energy. I have this theory that, if you're very open, then you're used to, or you feel like it might be normal to feel so much, and that it may feel strange when you're not feeling so much, and you might think, well, something's wrong with me because I'm not feeling all these powerful feelings, when that's actually because you're so miswired thinking that that's normal for
Right.
you. That's not self.
Right.
Having that clarity, having that peace, having that
Maybe.
space, that's your natural state, because the more open you are, the bigger the barrage of stuff for you to unpack that's real messy and muddy. When you
Yeah.
have, like, maybe you're a mental projector, for instance, and you have only 2 or 3 defined centers, that's what you're capable of processing all day, every day, anytime. And then when you introduce more stuff, and then you're like in these situations where you're all defined by other people, it's just so noisy, you can't unravel what's coming through, you can't parse it out, make sense of it, and that just can keep you just feeling stuck. So you need to decompress, sleep
Yeah.
alone, do everything you want with your partner. Just
Yeah.
when it comes to sleeping,
Right.
someone goes in the other room.
So, Nicholas, maybe
It's
that's why
possible.
you were having trouble sleeping.
I'm a
It's
cuddler. Cuddle before you go to bed.
cuddler. We're
And
big cuddlers. We are big cuddlers. And we have a big cuddly puppy too.
you got to
Cuddle.
choose sometimes,
You cuddle?
cuddles versus sanity and clarity. Like,
Well,
cuddles for
you
clarity.
cuddle and then you go to
Cuddle me.
sleep.
Cuddles for clarity.
Yeah. Cuddle and then you go to sleep. Cuddle and then you go to sleep.
Right. Take turns, because projectors, when they're all cuddled up, probably don't like to leave the room and get
We
out of
do.
bed.
We take turns in which room we're going to cuddle in.
That's right. That's right.
TMI. TMI. All right. It's not the same, LOL. We're sorry,
It's
Nicholas.
not the same.
You didn't make up the rules. We're just sharing with you. Maybe that's why you're having so much anxiety, though.
Not
Sleep.
everything that feels good is good for us. Can we accept
Yeah,
that concept?
we know that. If you've
Yeah.
ever cuddled up with a bottle of wine, feels good, not always good for us. All right, you guys, this has
Or
been
maybe
really
experiment real quickly with just doing it once a week, twice a week, and see what your experience is, and see how that decompresses you from your week. Just experiment. The whole thing is an
Yeah,
experiment.
but Nicholas, you would probably feel less. You see, here's the thing: if you are sleeping with someone who's a generator, sometimes you're taking on that energy and you don't realize that it's making you feel stressed in a way that sleeping alone
It's
is a
like
little
you're
bit less.
sticking with, like having, like, why do you want to have like a coffee buzz, like, or that feeling when you're not designed to? It can just whatever.
It helps you to decondition, because like we're so conditioned by the generator world as a projector, right? So we're conditioned by the generator world, so we can't even find our aura doesn't create invitations unless you decondition, because it's too chaotic. So the aura has to be refined enough to create the alignment. It's like a magnet that doesn't work. It has to be the aura has to be sharp enough in order to create the invitation.
Can I give
And if
one
it's
quick example?
yeah, except for I want to go.
Okay,
So
I'm just gonna end with this then. To me,
okay.
because just what came up to me is, like, if you were an athlete and you had a meet the next day and you wanted to be your absolute best because you had to show up 100%, you wouldn't go bar hopping the night before. You wouldn't, like, you would try your best to get to sleep at a good time, or you wouldn't put yourself under the same duress that you're actually doing when you're sleeping with someone else. You're basically doing that. You are not going to show up the next day at 100%. So it's just, that's all. You're sacrificing your 100%, or as close to 100% as you could get, by cuddle time. I guess it's not exactly like bar hopping, but cuddle time does have its downsides. Prolonged cuddle time anyway, I think we've gone over time. Thank you so much, everyone. That was so
We
cool.
love you guys.
Enjoyed your company. Peace.